Hello girls and guys, Romankondrachov here with you today, and today I will talk to you about how to be good, relatively speaking, in calisthenics. So before I used to do calisthenics pretty much for most of my life. I remember myself growing up on high bars, on hanging out on parallel bars, doing parkour, all of this bodyweight stuff. And at one point, I was actually pretty good. I almost got a chance, an opportunity to go to World Championships for calisthenics freestyle. This was 4 or 5 years ago. In any case, so I had a pretty good level. I got third place at freestyle on a Canadian Championships, which is pretty good achievement. Granted that I never took it seriously, where I trained in a programmed manner. But I did follow a few basics that got me pretty far. And to this day, I do follow these basics. And these basics, the basic principles, help me a lot in order to perform sometimes some of the skills if I wish to do so. So for example, pretty much any day I can perform a plunge, a straddle plunge, a front lever, handstand anytime, and I don't really practice these a lot, but I can still do this at a pretty decent level. So in any case, let's talk about this topic in more detail. Took part in many calisthenics competitions, local ones, but the main one was this one. This was the biggest achievement, where I got third place right here in the freestyle, and this was a Canadian qualifier to go to World Championships. There was many opponents there, and I managed to get through the 3 rounds of battle. And then at the same competition, I got third place for maximum muscle ups, actually. And I got a third place for maximum pull-ups. All third places, unfortunately, but I'm just showing you that I had a level of competence in this. So let's elaborate on this topic. Let's go. The most important thing to focus on is the progression from easier to more difficult strength movements over time, and being able to perform these for reps. When I say for reps, I refer to anywhere from 10 to 20 reps in one set. If you can do an exercise for 20 repetitions, there is a level of proficiency in that, and you should increase the level of difficulty. If you're able to perform inverted rows, you should aim to master negative eccentric chin-ups, regular chin-ups, and followed by pull-ups chest to bar, and etc. If you have mastered elevated push-ups, you should progress to regular push-ups, narrow diamond push-ups, and from there towards other harder push-up variations, and trying to play around with the basic dips. When you can do easy 20 dips, for example, you can try experimenting with harder variations, such as the Korean dips or front support dips on a high bar. But the main point is that you should aim to perform more difficult movements over time for repetitions. This will serve you well in your calisthenics journey, and you should always keep this in mind. A couple of words about handstands. When you do master a handstand near a wall or a free handstand, make sure to be able to progress from basic handstand push-ups head to the ground towards decline handstand push-ups that I have over here with a greater range of motion. The second factor is to progressively overload the basic movement patterns with weight. Once you can do 20 push-ups, dips, pull-ups, chin-ups, and about 10 to 15 handstand push-ups in one set, start adding weight to these exercises. Weighted dips, push-ups, pull-ups performed for multiple reps will build a strong base that will carry over to both the freestyle calisthenics, street lifting, which is weighted calisthenics, and aesthetically wise, you will actually look like a gymnast with a well-developed upper body musculature, including the delts, upper back, and arms. If you can dip more than your body weight for reps, you will have strong shoulders, a plunge, and the back lever will feel easier. If you can pull up more than additional body weight, front lever and muscle ups and even single arm pull-ups will be achieved in no time without much preparation, and entire easier variations such as tuck front levers will be skipped altogether.
Of course, you must train the elements themselves to improve, but if you just focus on getting stronger, it will take you extremely far in the calisthenics game. So weighted exercises are highly recommended. Another factor worth considering would be the mobility and flexibility in the upper body and lower body. If you don't develop adequate flexibility and mobility, you will not be efficient and will have to unnecessarily waste more muscular energy for given skills. Let me give you some examples. If you don't train shoulder flexibility and thoracic mobility, you will have a hard time performing handstands. You will be compensating with lower back rounding and front delt flexion. Ultimately, if you train hard, you will still get the handstand, but the path towards one-arm handstand will be almost unachievable. If your shoulders can't fully extend, you have a hard time performing skin the cat, and you may get injured performing a back lever, for example. If you have poor flexibility and mobility in the upper body, you will have a hard time performing dynamic moves in the freestyle calisthenics. If you can't extend wrists so that they are perpendicular to forearm, you will injure them when attempting handstand or planche variations on the ground. In weightlifting, as an example, if you have poor ability to extend wrists, you will clean and jerk much less weight than desired. Front squats will be impossible, and etc. Another example are the back flips and back handsprings. If you can't do a comfortable back bridge support, you will have to compensate by pushing off your legs much harder to be able to flip. In powerlifting, if you can't do comfortable back bridge support, you will bench press less weight. And the list goes on and on. Flexibility and mobility training is not sexy, nor is it attractive, but it really works and must be incorporated into your training, especially if you're just beginning, if you're just starting out calisthenics. When training for calisthenics, frequency of training is paramount for success. Calisthenics is different from weight training is that it is less intense on the body, less training on the body. For example, when deadlifting, only performing one deadlift session per week or even per 2 weeks could still provide enough stimulus for one to make progress. If you want to learn chin-ups, a handstand or a front lever, training these 3 times per week would probably be the minimum requirement to make good sustainable progress. Harder, more intricate skills would need to be trained even more frequently. The point is, if you want to be good at calisthenics, you probably need to train every day to make progress. In contrast, if you want to make progress in the gym with weights, 2 to 4 times per week is good enough for most people. For optimum results, make sure to have a training journal where you track your sets, reps, weight used, how you feel, time spent in static positions, total volume, personal records, and how you felt during the sets. I find that many calisthenics athletes just train without tracking any data. When you track your training, you can analyze your training and see what works and what doesn't. Sometimes we feel like certain exercises are necessary for us, but in reality the exercises may be totally counterproductive for our success. The journal and acquired data will help you decide what is useful and what isn't. A while ago I was struggling with increasing my back squat. I actually couldn't surpass a 275-pound squat. I was doing weighted banded, glute bridges, glute ham raises, and pistol squats. This didn't do anything for my squat. Then I just did more sets of squats and added some paused high bar squats. As a result, the plateaus were eradicated, and now I can squat 365 and going for 400. The only way I figured out what worked for my squat is after consulting my training journal and performing careful analysis of my training. Having done calisthenics for decades, I feel like the bodyweight culture has this freedom component to it, where you just train how you want, which is good, but at the same time there's a lack of scientific focus. When training, make sure to record videos of your sets to be truly objective about the form and execution of the skill. Sometimes we know and we feel like we are already retracting, protracting, depressing the scapula in the skills, or not doing the banana, but on the video it's clear that we are not. Think of a video not as means of showing off on Instagram or TikTok, but as means of having your own coach who can objectively and honestly judge you. Body composition wise, have tiny twig legs like my brother does. Don't have huge tree trunks. Also, don't be fat like I am in the video. So lose some weight, lose some body fat, and have low body fat percentage. And overall, low body weight. This will really make everything much easier in calisthenics. The only thing I have going for me at this point is my upper body. So do make sure to get jacked upper body, but really don't develop your legs.
Yes,
My friend.
I'm doing very good today. Just going for cold water deep. 20 лет в Канаде. I'm doing very good cold water deep. Снимай по одной минуте, ладно?
Make sure you have balanced training program where the ratio of pulling to pushing exercises is 1:1 or more for pulling. If during every session you do one pulling exercise such as a pull-up and then proceed with sets of dips, push-ups and handstand push-ups, you will have overdeveloped anterior upper body, and this will lead to kyphosis, poor posture and ultimately injury down the road. Regarding injuries, watch out for any overuse injuries and address them immediately. If you can exert a sustainable effort over a long period of time without getting injured, you will be victorious and you will progress. If you get injured, you can't train, you can't progress. You ultimately get demotivated, you stop training, and you get fat and miserable. So regarding calisthenics, overuse injuries are extremely common because we utilize the same musculature from day to day. Common injuries that you may need to watch out for would be in the wrists, rear delts, shoulders, torn biceps, elbows, medial lateral epicondylitis, like the tennis and the golfer's elbow, overextended neck, and low back pain from those beautiful banana handstands that you can see over here in the video. Lastly, it is important to realize that if you want to be good at anything, consider investing years into this, like 5 to 10 years. Don't expect master level proficiency after a year or two of training. Be patient, put in consistent work with effort on progressive overload, don't get injured, and you will become stronger and better. I can promise and guarantee you that. I also believe that if consistent effort is invested, if serious consistent effort is invested and all of the factors that I talked about are optimized, tremendous progress can actually be made in just over a year. Hopefully this general guide on how to be better in calisthenics, on how to start your calisthenics journey and how to improve in this beautiful sport is of use to you. I try to lay out general guidelines and to provide you with as much information as I know. Of course, there's many more things to talk about, like nutrition, sleep, and what you do outside of training, how you recover, and all of those intricacies. But that would be too long of a video. So I just try to focus on the most important things that every beginner should strive to focus on. So if this video is of use, please make sure to like, share, subscribe to my channel for more informative videos. I will be presenting more informative videos in the future. If you have any questions, like always, just shoot me an email, or you can also write a comment, leave a comment, and I will try to answer any of your questions. Lastly, if this video has improved the quality of your life, consider improving the quality of my life by donating to me via PayPal or just an e-transfer if you live in North America or if you live anywhere in the world. Without further ado, I wish you a great rest of the weekend. I really wish that you succeed in 2021 and take care, stay glorious, stay victorious, stay positive. Take care.